Okay, hey YouTube. My name is Future Sailor James, and I really wanted to put a video out there. I'm joining the Navy. I've already depped in. My leaving on the 28th of this month, and I depped in about 2 weeks ago. So I got pretty lucky in leaving sooner than later because most of the jobs were leaving in November, December, that kind of stuff. I didn't want to be in Great Lakes where the boot camp is. I didn't want to be there in November, in the winter with snow. I was like, nope. And I actually got a job that I wanted, so I got lucky. Anyway, I want to put this video out there for people who are curious about joining. They want to know what the process is going to be like. They're excited. They're this, they're that. I just want to put this video out there for people who were like me in the beginning, who didn't know what to expect and what to do, and watching YouTube videos really helped out. I'm going to be giving advice based on the experiences that I had. The first thing I want to let people know, because a lot of people don't know about this because it's very new. It literally happened, I believe it was 2 or 3 days after I walked into my first recruiter's office. The military, the tattoo policy. Oh man, it changed. Okay? You cannot, now it is no face tattoos, that was already given. No neck tattoos at all, nowhere. It doesn't matter if it's right behind your ear, cannot be there. Can't be on the back of your neck. They used to accept tattoos on the back of the neck, at the bottom. Not anymore. Can't be on the neck at all, anywhere. And now, if it shows in a V-neck t-shirt, you cannot enlist at all. So, that basically means, if you can see it here, you can see it here, and you can see it here, you're not getting in to the military at all. So please, 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 you know, if you want to join and you've got a tattoo on your face, go get it removed. And if your tattoo is more important than your military service or your future career, then don't. Don't even walk into the Navy office. I don't know how it is with the Army and the Marines, but if you're open to different branches, then definitely go explore, because with the Navy, they're going to tell you no right away. It's a brand new policy. So just a heads up with that. I don't know if it's going to be permanent, but I've heard that eventually the Navy will stop accepting people with tattoos at all. Don't know when that's going to happen. They want to phase it out. So just a heads up to everybody. What's the next thing? Oh, my recruiter. I've had 2 recruiters. My first recruiter, we didn't really click personality-wise. And he was also fairly new to recruiting. I think he'd been there for like a month. He didn't have any answers to anything. He seemed really, really overwhelmed. I had to take the public transportation out to his office to meet with him all the time, because he always wanted to meet with me. And it was always for things that were like, that took like 5 minutes. And every time I went, there was only like 10 people in the office. Not an exaggeration. 10 people in the office. He's the only person there. And these are all people that he made appointments with. And it just didn't work. You know, I'd be there for an hour. So that's 2 hours out of my day for 5 minutes. Not even 3 hours, because I had to go back too. So that's 3 hours out of my day for 5 minutes. I didn't like that. Every time I asked him a question, like, what does my ASVAB score mean? You know, what's this going to be like? What's that? He's just like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It was always, I don't know. I was like, can you find an answer, please? So anyway, I talked to him about it, and he was like, I'm kind of busy, which is understandable. Recruiters are busy. I totally understand that. But I still didn't like it. So, because I felt like I was wasting my time, because the tattoo policy was holding me up. It took me 3 weeks to get through that whole clearance thing, and nothing was happening. He didn't want to do any paperwork, which I guess is understandable, but we just didn't click. So I decided to just get a second opinion and see if all the Navy recruiters were like this. And I just went to another recruiting office, and I sat down and I said, hey, you know, I already got a recruiter, I already took the ASVAB, this is my score, you know, I just feel like a lot of my questions haven't been answered, and I really want to understand what the enlistment process is going to be like, what depping in is going to be like, what boot camp is going to be like, what the Navy is going to be like. Like, I want to hear your guys' stories. I want to know what's going on, because my recruiter didn't tell me any of that information. And so they sat me down. They were like, this is what's going to happen. This is what you got to do. This is this. This is that. Blah, 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 blah. They even taped me. I hadn't been taped yet. It was just, and I had been working with him for 3 weeks. It was crazy. Almost a month. So, the 25 minutes that I was in that office, so much progress had been made that I was just like, you know what? I know you guys said in the beginning that you didn't necessarily want to steal me away. That's not what you guys are doing. You're just answering my questions. I really appreciate what you guys did, and I think I want to work with you guys. And they were like, it's totally up to you. It's your military career. Like, if this is what you want to do, then this is what you want to do. We're not telling you to do it. And so I was like, nope, this is what I want to do. So they transferred my records over, the very little records, because the only thing we had done was like fill out the first piece of paper, the paper that they have you fill out, but just like, have you ever done this before? Have you ever done that before? They just faxed that over. That was how much work we had gone through in 3 weeks. So my new recruiter, I love her to death. She's fantastic. I got a girl, which is great because I'm a female, and it's very rare. Female recruiters are so rare, so rare. And if you're a girl, you know, working with guys like that, it's just sometimes it can be weird. So just remember that it's and after I changed, things flew by. I went and I took my physical. Like a week later, I chose my job. I got a job that I wanted. My recruiter actually was able to kind of like hold the job for me because she thought that I would love it and she thought that it would be good for me. And when I got in there, I was like, you know what? I appreciate you doing that. I still want to see what else they have to offer. And that was by far my favorite, the best job that they had there. And I liked it and I chose it and found out that that job was leaving, you know, in May. And I wanted to leave sooner than later because I didn't want to be there in Great Lakes for the winter. So I was like, this is perfect. And why is that? It's because I ended up changing my recruiter. My recruiter actually, we came to like each other a lot. And she took care of me. And that's really what your experience is supposed to be like. That's what your recruiter is supposed to do. They're supposed to take care of you. So don't be afraid if you feel like your recruiter is just they're not caring about what your experience is going to be like. Don't be afraid to go and get a second opinion, because I didn't even realize that you could do that, but you can. So just don't be afraid. Also, don't lie to your recruiters. Tell them the truth from the beginning, because your recruiter is the first line of defense for you. You know, don't be afraid. If you think that something is incriminating, you know, most likely it's not, and they can get a waiver for you. They have waivers for pretty much everything. They have tattoo waivers if you have tattoos. If you smoked pot before, they have a waiver for that as well. They have a lot of waivers. I think they even have like an asthma waiver. Like if you had asthma when you were, you know, a baby or something like that, and use an inhaler, but you grew out of it, you no longer have asthma, but it's on your medical record or whatever the case may be. You need a waiver for that. As long as you tell your recruiter way ahead of time in the beginning when they're asking you all these questions, you tell them the truth, then those things will get taken care of and your enlistment process will go very smoothly. So don't lie. Also, if you have any debt, try to get that taken care of. You know, maybe get it paid off if you can. If you can't get it paid off, then just go ahead and set up payment plans. Because especially if it's in collections. If it's in collections, call those people, set up payment plans, and then provide that proof that you did that. Because if you don't, then that really limits the job options that you have. You can't get a security clearance if you have a lot of stuff in collection. So try to get that taken care of. I had to do it, so just do it. Another thing is, for your ASVAB, I recommend studying. Study. I hadn't been in a math class for like 4 years. I went to college and I avoided math at all costs. I did not want to take math, and so I didn't. So the last time I was in a math class was like my junior year in high school, like 5 years ago. And so I studied. You know, I had to, otherwise I was going to get a bad grade. And so I studied math. I had friends help me out, blah, blah, blah. And I got a really good score. And it really opened up my options for my military career. And it's imperative that you do the best that you can on the ASVAB, because that's something that's going to follow you around throughout your military career. You know, things are going to come up. You'll, especially if you're in the Navy, you could have an option to eventually change your rate or your job, and before you re-enlist. And your ASVAB score will open up the horizons for you. So do the best that you can. If your recruiter tells you don't study, ignore that and go study. My first recruiter, actually told me not to study. He told me not to study. I had gotten a 70 at the test that was at the office, and he's like, oh, you don't need to study, don't study. Because I told him I was studying. And he's like, don't study, you don't need to study. And I'm like, okay, you know, I continued to study anyway. That's part of the reason why I did. I was just like, why would I not study? You know, if I told you that I haven't been in a math class. Anyway, study for the ASVAB. You want to get the best score you possibly can. Unless you know for a fact that the job that you want, like you want to be a chef, or you want to dive, or something like that, or you want to be a swimmer even, you know, you want to be a Navy SEAL. You don't have to score that crazy high in order to do those jobs, but you still want to score as high as you can, because you'll have the pick of the litter. You can have any job that you want, the higher the score you get. So remember that. And the higher the score you get, they have a lot of programs that help you advance in pay grade and rank much faster. So just remember that. And I actually was lucky enough to get a job that I wanted, and a job that I think that I would really enjoy in the military. Of course, as I go through my career, I will definitely be updating you and letting you know how much I like it after doing it, but we'll see, you know. For my job, I'm pretty much, I have to go to A school and C school, so I'm going to be in school for almost a year. That's okay. I don't mind. I plan on making the Navy sort of this is where I'm going to retire from. I don't think that 6 years is going to be the minimum or maximum amount of time. I think I'm going to be in here for a very, very long time. So, and I would eventually like to switch over to officer, because you can do that. That's something that you can do. They call it enlisted to officer. So, or E to O or something like that. It's an actual program. You know, you have to have a certain amount of college credits, of course, and you can go to school while you're in the Navy. You have to have a certain amount of college credits, and I'm sure it takes a hell of a lot of time, and there's probably a lot of paperwork. But you can switch from enlisted to officer, or from enlisted to warrant officer, or from warrant officer to officer. So that's something to remember. You know, there's a lot of options out there. It's just going to take some time. And that's something else. Learn to hurry up and wait. That's something that they say. They're going to say it a lot. You're going to be doing it a lot. MEPS is crazy. I was in MEPS for when I did my physical and all that kind of stuff. I was in MEPS for, I think, 14 hours. And you cannot go to sleep. You have to stay awake. So you will be making friends while you're at MEPS. You probably never talk to them again, but just remember, you know, I don't even know. Just learn to hurry up and wait. That pretty much means you're going to be sitting like this. For a good 14 hours. And even after MEPS, you know, it's all about just waiting and waiting. The military is really teaching me, one of the most impatient people, originally from the Big Apple, where everything's instant. It's definitely teaching me to slow the F down and wait. Jesus Christ. So yeah, just learn to hurry up and wait. Also, get in shape, you know. Even if you're already in shape, don't stop. Don't take it easy. You know, I had to lose 5 pounds to make my weight, and because I did that, I don't have to get taped all the time. I was within body fat percentage, even though I was over my max weight. But still, you want to lose that weight because it'll make boot camp easier, because you'll be carrying around less weight. You'll be able to run faster. You'll be able to do things faster, you know. Don't go on a crazy diet and just don't eat anything just to make that weight. You know, you actually want to lose fat and not muscle, because when you lose muscle, you're getting weaker. So just don't do that. go running, do some jumping jacks, get a jump rope, buy a water bottle, just go exercise. Okay, it's just start, because you're gonna have to get up at 5:30, 4 o'clock in the morning on any given day. When you're in boot camp and while you're in the military, you might as well start way before you go. And if you're in depth for 6 months, you have no excuses. Go, 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 go. If you can't swim, you're gonna have to know how to swim. You have to know how to float, and you're going to have to be prepared for that. You're going to be jumping off of you're going to be jumping off of a ledge 10 feet into water, feet first, and then you're going to come up, and you can do, as long as you're not trying to be a SEAL. It's different for SEALs. They actually test you on like your strokes and your this and your that. But if you're just regular, you just jump in, come up, do whatever stroke you want. You can flip onto your back and back stroke or stroke like that across the water. You can, however you're comfortable swimming, that's what you're going to do. And you're going to swim to the end of the pool. And then you're going to hop out. And once everybody's done doing that, you're going to come back in. And then they're going to have you tread water and then do the dead man float for 30 seconds, I think. And then tread water for 30 seconds again. And then do the dead man float. And you're going to do that for 5 minutes. So if you don't know how to tread water, learn now. Learn before you go into the recruiting office. Learn while you're in the process of enlisting. Learn while you're in depth. Learn, because you're going to have to do this. And they will take you out of your regular like day-to-day duties while you're in boot camp to teach you how to swim. And that's not necessarily a good thing, because it could really set you back. You're going to miss a lot of essential schoolings. You won't be able to pass battle stations, and you won't be able to graduate on time. So you don't want that to happen. So make sure you, like I said, get in shape, learn how to swim, learn how to tread that water, because you're going to have to do it. You're only going to do a swim qualification once, unless you don't pass. But you're only going to do it once. You're only going to get in a pool once, as far as I believe. So just practice and get to the point where you need to be before you go. Okay? You don't want to be set back in boot camp. You go to boot camp and you want to get out of there in 2 months. So, I can't really think of anything else that I want to put in there. Oh, women who want to join the Navy. Just a heads up. Unfortunately, the Navy is the only branch of the military that cuts your hair. So this I will be getting professionally cut. It has to be above the collar. So if your collar is right here, your hair has to be above the collar. So I'm probably going to get my hair cut to like my jaw level, just so that they don't jack my hair up, because I've only heard so many stories about girls with beautiful long luscious hair and it's gone. African American women like myself, you can wear weaves to naval boot camp. Just make sure it doesn't look like a straight up weave. Try and get a nice one, because the nicer it is, the better, the longer it'll last. So you can have a weave in naval boot camp. And even non-African American women, if you want your hair, if you don't want to cut it, you can get a weave. Just make sure it looks good, okay? Because the better it looks, the chances are they won't ask you to take it out. Because if they can really tell and it just looks raggedy and stuff like that, and it looks really bad, then they will tell you to take out your weave. But you can wear one. So just get a good one, okay? Pay the money and just get a good one. Get that Indie Remy hair, whatever it is you need to get. I can't think of anything else that I want to say or like want to give you a heads up on, or just like advice. But if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them below down there, right down there. Don't be afraid. Just ask anything, and if I have the answer, then I'll definitely answer it for you, because I know that talking to recruiters sometimes can be fairly intimidating. Maybe you think that they want you to act a certain way. You're not sure. I know it can be tough. So a lot of times it's better to hear it from your peers, and that's kind of what the Navy is all about. It's all about chain of command, and the chain of command starts with you. It starts with you, your peers, your comrades. So any questions, like I said, just just ask me, and I will do my best to give you an answer. If enough the same question gets asked, then I will make another video, and so on and so forth. So I definitely plan on having this whole process laid out for people to see. There's a lot of people out there on YouTube that do this, and like I will be regularly updating and letting you guys know, what everything is like. So, like I said, any questions, don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid. Alright guys, I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to talking to y'all. Good luck.